Look at Tesla Autopilot, how they actively decided to not use LiDAR and all these things, but they decided to just cameras. In the beginning, with the first autopilots, just have like a lot of if this statements. That's the traditional automation where you like, oh, there's a stop sign to this. This is tons of code and it's just not performing as well. Now that RPA approach, that these agents and the reasoning engines like O3 and deep research and so forth bring to the table are that they no longer need that if this statement, that hard coded statement, but they sort of like intuitively, dynamically figure this out. You don't need to tell them that through these statements. You just provide them with relevant data, train them, fine tune, and then they're really good at this. And so the typical problem that we see with businesses that try to implement this, they try to come up with a rule set and try to be really specific, versus like where these technologies really shine is you can give them a very open-ended question and then actually see how they access various data sources that are unstructured. You don't have to move that into a specific rule format and so forth, and they become really good at this. So that's the first thing I would say, that the traditional pitfall that businesses do. The second thing, they start with the shiny object. You should pick the boring, easy, low-hanging fruits because AI is already there. You don't need something that suddenly like solves cancer and these sort of things, but it could be super helpful having something that helps you with figuring out like how many people visited your LinkedIn page, and are there like categorizing them, are they from a specific industry, so you don't have to do that manually. Simple things can be automated. A lot of people don't think about it because it's too like distracting or too tempting to think about something very exciting to do, whereas these things actually are shining and accelerate in the boring stuff that no one wants to do. Yeah. It's the same thing with startups. The smaller they are, the less and process can be automated. It's food for the AI agent. If there's a process, let the AI agent know about it and it does it. And if you add engineer number 2001 to your company, the impact of engineer number 2001 is not as high as if you add engineer number 1 or 2. You can start that early on, but you can use that also in smaller team size to just like, instead of hiring or like having your workers and scale better. And then for the bigger teams, it's really about the repetitive quality of the outcome. So it's predictable, that it's not hallucinating these sort of things. And that's where, particularly when you have a bigger organization, you have a lot of data as well, where you can train these AI agents and set them up in a way that that is less likely and free up a lot of the resources of your folks to then do something else. Like typical example, taking a customer support team from 20 people to just 2 people. The other 18 people, they know now how to use AI. They are great in sales. They are great in business and product. They can do other things. They don't have to answer typical questions like, my internet is not working. How can I reconnect? So that's a massive unlock on potential and productivity. And that scales, of course, the bigger you are in the company.